AJ Hibbsy was pretty smart to point out that this thumbnail is really has nothing to do with Gadgeteer. We need to know if you like the thumbnail. Does AJ like it? We need to know.
Yeah, I love the thumbnail, man.
Yeah.
Gadgeteer, you're gonna have to wait and hear my thoughts about, but the thumbnail, I think it's pretty good, man. It was a surprise to me. Did you guys get that picture of the pizza slice I sent you, where the cheese was like stretching? It was like movie tier. It was from Nancy's Pizza, which I heard was like the best pizza in Chicago, and I got a Chicago deep dish, real Chicago deep dish. And I pulled that sucker up, and it stretched. The cheese stretched. I've only seen that in movies. I've never seen that in real life.
Oh, dude.
Anyone else ever seen that before?
Yeah, so there's this trend that was going on, I think in Asian countries. Maybe it was Japan. I saw it online on Twitter. And kids would get like grilled cheeses or cheese sticks or whatever and try and pull it as long as they could. And they had like kids bending over backwards or like halfway across from the table, like standing in the restaurant. Like all kinds of crazy shit.
I'd bend over backwards for some pizza.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you want me to put
It's-
this picture of you and the pizza on the screen, AJ. Is that what you're looking for?
No, he doesn't.
No.
No. Oh well, then
No.
okay. Well then let's start the show.
Start the show.
This is PSVR Gamescast Live, where we film. Oop, that wasn't supposed to happen. Apparently, we're in the Gamecat Dojo already. This thing's so complicated. Oh, that's
he
the
does want to
picture.
show the. Yeah, there's the. Look at that cheese.
Look at that glorious slice.
Is it completely covered on the top
That-
with pepperoni? Is that like a full layer
No,
of pepperoni?
it's sauce. It's Chicago style deep dish. It's real
Oh.
deep dish.
Okay.
And
Is that a thing? Is like all Chicago style deep dish pizza, like the sauce is always on top, and then you got to dig for the
real
toppings?
Real Chicago style deep
I don't know how I
dish.
feel about that. I like deep
Yeah, I don't
dish.
either.
I don't know how I feel about sauce on top. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole, and the guys to my right, the boys, Dave from Dave Station, the V, and thank God it's Friday, are.
Indeed, TGIF guys. Glad to have you here. This is a good way to send out the week and start out the weekend.
And that guy on the far right-hand side of your screen is AJ from The Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Dave? What is up, Game Cats? Happy Friday to you, man. Hopefully we can send you off into the weekend with some good vibes, some positive energy. Let all of your stress release into the atmosphere and destroy our ozone layer and kill us all.
Meow. Meow. Guys, we got a couple tips to take care of right off the bat. We got J Meow with the $5 tip that says, "You're number one." I mean, if we're number one, I hate to ask, does that make you number two?
Orbs.
Orbs, thank you so much, Jay, for the support. And also, Professor Lilith with the $5 tips has been working every Gamescast for a while. Thanks for arranging Wipeout Sunday, Rody the Game Cat. Rody's on top of that over there. Love it.
Oh, yeah.
Which kind of kicks us right into housekeeping, I believe. That means you should click the link in the description below and come join our Discord, man. That's where this conversation happens 24/7. That's where we all hang out. That's where all sorts of cats hang out, man. Lots of developers been hanging out recently, and it's just been a good time. Kind of like you're in case you got any questions about PSVR games. If we can't answer them, hopefully the people that make them can. Also, as Professor Lilith pointed out, we are starting up GameCat multiplayer game night starting this week, and that is going to be on Sunday. We're going to be playing Wipeout Omega Collection, so if you want to get the invite to that, make sure you're part of it. We're going to flood the servers. Head over to Discord and follow the directions over there.
And just so people know, what time on Sunday is it going to be? Eastern time, I assume.
I believe it's 2 p.m. Eastern time, but
2 p.m. Eastern time. All right.
yeah, but definitely double check that on Discord because every day.
Rody's in chat.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Nice. We also got Texatron, the indoor cat with the $5 tip that says, by accepting this tip, oh shit, I didn't read the rest of it first. You must promise to make Subnautica come to PSVR2. I have no power when it comes to this kind of stuff, but I've accepted the tip. It is now my burden to bear. I'm down.
By accepting this tip, you're going to fix Minecraft yourself, Brian, because it's all your fault.
Everything's always my fault, man. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I am the scapegoat for all of the world's problems. You don't like something? Blame it on me.
It's what you get for being on YouTube.
Yeah, man, doesn't come without a couple of costs. But guys, also want to make sure that we want to thank these people down at the bottom of the screen. These are people who went to patreon.com/withoutparolegames, and they're the ones giving us $1 or more every month. Sorry, sirens on my end, to keep the channel running, keeping these lights on. We thank you so much for it, man. Just $1 or a month, get your name on that list, and I promise we'll bring back litter box episodes or something in their place soon. I promise. But AJ, all of these cats and all the Discord people and our awesome mods, those aren't the only people we want to thank, are they?
We would like to thank those who also support us in another way by changing your name to something Gamecat, something Gamecat related, or something Gamecat adjacent, as you or something Gamecat adjacent like to say. Mm-hmm. And all you have to do is change your name to something Gamecat. Leave a hashtag on any video, not live, not a live stream, during the live chat. I see you all in there. I see you, Killacell, PSVR, Feet, Danky for J Meow, Your Long Shadows, Guy Sun Fist Bump to you. And this week we have 3 new Game Cats to welcome to the Gamecat Dojo. Starting with X Hick X Cash Me Outside. How about that, Game Cat? Woo! How about that?
Oh, it didn't show up the way it was supposed to. Let's try that again. Did you guys hear a ding? Did you hear a ding? Did
Somebody wake up X Hicks.
Here, let's try that one more time. Hold on. Ding, ding. There we go. Ding. Oh shit, that's
nice.
Not right. I don't. Who is?
What's going on there?
It's last week's names. Yeah. Welcome to Without Parole. Where everything goes well.
Should I go to the next name or what?
Here we go. I got the right one now. Yeah. Go ahead. Go for it, man. This is gonna be fun.
We've also got Mike GC. I like that name. I like those initials. Those are good initials.
Hell
we
yeah.
got a couple
He's not
GCs
biased
in the
or
neighborhood.
anything. He's not biased, but
Not biased.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be GameCat, but obviously it's Well, could very
I'm
be
biased
Gadgeteer.
towards him.
Yeah.
Finally, last but not least, we've got Donatello dreaming about PSVR2 Gamecat. Not the only one dreaming, man. I am dreaming every single day. I cannot wait for PSVR2. It's going to be amazing. And I know I've never talked about it before, but yeah, it's just going to be life-changing awesomeness.
Oh, wait, here we go. Ding. That's how delayed all the names were today.
Nice.
Hey, man, doing stuff live is way more complicated than doing stuff all edited after the fact. So
the OBS gnomes are always getting in there and screwing with the machinery.
It's true. So I'm just glad we finally got this stuff back up and running. In the only way we know how without Parole, and it's held together by duct tape and in the hopes of lost children. Yeah, Jamie out with the $2 tip says Rypop sucks at NHL hits. I'm way better. I mean, I guess if that's something you want to do, yeah, you can totally use.
They should make NHL
hit grievances like this. Come on.
Why have they made a good hockey? You could have made a hockey game with the move controllers, man. They could have done it. Nick Mueller already talked about how they could have done it, and it would be so fun to check people.
You could do it in Dreams, maybe.
Maybe once they had multiplayer.
All right, guys, don't forget, as AJ already said, make sure you change your name to hashtag something GameCat. Tell us in the comments, not the live stream, with the hashtag GameCat so we can give you a shout out on next Friday's show. Hopefully it'll run smoother than this Friday's show. We'll see what happens. And before we get into our topic of the day, we got a couple of questions from the cat over on Discord in our viewer takeover channel. Viewer takeover is not gone. It's just changed. This is what we're doing. It's here. And our first viewer takeover question comes to us from XPacer X. He writes, hashtag viewer takeover. What are the top 10 easiest PSVR games to get 100% of the trophies on?
So I've never gotten a platinum in my life on anything.
You need to get one.
Yeah, just one.
I was going to get, there was one game I had decided, Tsushima. I was like, I can do this. I'm going to get this. Oh. And then I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So no, I've never gotten one. So I don't know. Brian, you get platinums all the time. Maybe you get platinums. You guys should know, right?
Well, the good thing is PSVR platinums are typically a little bit easier than a lot of flat screen games because the games are shorter.
I do know one, Bonfire. That's an easy platinum, right?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I've got a list here of stuff. Mostly ones that I've already gotten, so that I know just how pain-free they are. And these are not challenging ones. Like some might be a little time-consuming, but certainly not going to test your gaming skills, which I think was the question. I don't really know. Paranormal Activity, obviously the horror ones I know inside out. Paranormal Activity, Don't Knock Twice, Red Matter. All of these just take a few hours to get the platinum. Yeah. Just make sure you have a guide next to you so you don't have to play them more times than necessary. Immortal Legacy is not too bad. I think you can do that in 2 run-throughs. But as far as like super easy ones, Shadow Legend, I think takes about 5 hours total. Job Simulator, you can blast through really quickly. And then if you want some really easy ones, Along Together is cool, but Cool Painter VR and Art Pulse. I think Art Pulse took me 20 minutes. You just kind of like...
Don't buy Art Pulse just for because it's not worth anything more than a trophy, right?
Well, yeah, but it's been on sale for $2. So if you value your platinum trophies...
If you are a trophy hunter. In the chat, we're hearing Duracine. If you beat the game, you get a trophy for the platinum.
Yeah.
Wait,
so,
is that true? No, that can't be true because you need to get all those the hidden coins.
Right.
And
but
so,
you need most of those hidden coins to beat the game, though, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I beat it without getting all the coins. But anyway, it's a good game. You should play it anyway.
I'd like to. I never went for just easy platinums. I just went for games that I loved, and that's how I ended up with like To the Top and stuff. But some of those are pretty challenging. I do not recommend the Parole Platinum. You can't even get that anymore. But I totally agree with Job Sim. Job Simulator is a great, easy first platinum to get. But my first PSVR platinum was Moss. And it will always be special to me for that reason. And Moss is a fun one. It was a fun one to get. It was a fun one to go for. And so that is one I definitely recommend as well.
We got Firebird Old School in the chat with with the 100 Sekiros. Writes Tilt in cheers.
Nice, man.
Thank you so much.
I need to get back on that Star Wars Pinball VR. I haven't had enough time. I've been juggling so many games.
I was just thinking that, like, before the show, I was looking through my library because I just played some Gadgeteer, and I was like, Star Wars Pinball. Yeah. Why the hell am I not playing that?
Yeah, it's fixed. And it's fun.
Rumor is it might be getting updated later this month, so we'll see how that goes. The Triangulator with a $20 tip says, "Hello, illustrious host and amazing Gamecat community. Do you think there will be a new version of the aim controller for PSVR2? One of the best peripherals in a long time. Just ask dual-wielding AJ."
Yes.
What do you think? You think so?
I was playing Solaris. It's over there. We've been getting this question a couple times before, and I think the big focus is going to be with the orbs. The orb controllers are going to be how they maximize immersion and everything. But that being said, there still is that disconnect of two hands not connected, and so it feels like there's nothing there. It feels like you're grabbing air or like holding air, and that's what makes the aim controller so special. So maybe there will be something, maybe an attachment, maybe another peripheral, but obviously, like I said, the focus is probably going to be more on using the orbs to cock the guns, manually load them, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think like games that do kind of go for that two-handed style that would work on an aim, they'll probably have some kind of like attachment. Like with the Move controllers on PS3, they had like the sharpshooter and they had all kinds of little plastic things you could slide them into, right? And same with the Wii, they had the Wii Zapper and all these little things you could slide it into. And I think that'll work if they do it, just because you can play the game without it. You still have the same controllers, so everybody can play the game regardless. Which is the main issue we've had so far, because like not everybody has moves, not everybody has the aim, and so you make an aim controller game, and it's like, well, 2/3 of people can't play this fucking thing. And so I think when we all are on the same playing field, it would be nice to have something to lock them into that does that.
Yeah.
And I think somebody will make it. Even if it's not Sony, like some dude will 3D print some shit you can buy. Yeah. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
So there will be some solution for that feeling of the gun, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I mean, because as you said, your hands are on the important parts. The hands are on the controllers themselves, so you're going to get the resistance on the triggers. You're going to get the vibration, the feedback in the controllers themselves. And so, whatever connects the two controllers together is all you really need. I don't think you'll even be losing anything with that kind of cheap alternative. So why not? Like a $10 little thing rather than charging people $80-$90 for basically stitching two controllers together.
Let's be honest, it'll be at least $25. They're not selling it for $10. Sony's not going to sell something for $10.
No, it would be it'd be like
25, 30,
30 to 50.
Like
yeah, good
but
call.
Hopefully the build quality would be good and it'd be worth it.
And then our final question before we get to the topic of the day is from Donnie the Gamecat with the hashtag viewer takeover question. Do you think there will still be VR experiences on the PSVR 2? If so, what experiences would be possible on the PSVR 2 that cannot be done on PSVR 1? Would you like to experience And would you pay for a live concert in VR?
Yeah, probably I would pay for a live concert in VR if it was better than the ones that I've seen in VR. Because
Yeah.
I went to the 2 Chainz concert in Facebook venues, Oculus venues or whatever.
Yeah.
I think this was on it was on 420, of course. It's on 420. And so I went to that, and literally it was just this weird little venue. You couldn't get in with your friends, and it was just a big 360 video stretched out in front of you. And parts of the venue were covering up parts of the stage, so like he'd walk stage left and you couldn't even see him anymore. And he was just like giant sized. So if they can get it to a point where it's like that Joshua Bell, is that what it was called? The Joshua Bell experience, where it's like filmed in a way where it's actually like good quality and it looks like, you can move your head around it like you're actually there.
Right.
Sure, I'd pay for that. And sports games, people would pay to sit courtside and stuff like that. And they have stuff like that, but it needs to get further before it's like worth paying for, I think.
Yeah.
But as far as experiences like, Ocean Descent and shit like that, I hope we keep getting stuff like that. Not that the PSVR 1 couldn't do it, but the more immersion we can get, imagine your face shaking while the cage is rattling and you feel the shark coming at you and stuff. And yeah, keep them coming still.
It's a good question because we're at the point where we're like way past experiences and stuff, but there's tons of people out there that haven't even gotten into VR yet. The majority of people have not gotten into VR yet. So they're going to need those type of kind of build your VR leg experiences, stuff to wow people, stuff that you can show it off to other people. They're going to need that regardless of we want it or not. I think it would make sense. It's a practical thing to do. But yeah, as far as like the concert thing, I have the problem. The one drawback to all this is I love Ocean Descent. I love a lot of experiences. The one drawback is that most of the time, most experiences we get are not very good. A lot of them, especially Gen 1, like didn't look good. They weren't interactive. They weren't fun. I think only, you mentioned Bonfire. Bonfire's like one of the few good ones, Ocean Descent. And so typically I've been able to have a better experience playing a game. It's like, there's some games, it's like games do that experience and it's a game as well. So, it's going to need some stuff for sure. I'm more looking forward to like having stuff like movie theaters that we can watch with friends, social things like that. And concerts, maybe. I wouldn't mind seeing like a Nine Inch Nails concert like in VR. It'd be pretty cool.
I do think sports is going to be a big thing because there will be people out there who, who would die to be sitting courtside. And when the technology gets good enough, like people will buy VR just to be able to sit there and watch an NBA game, or something like that, like without even playing games on the thing.
Yeah, sporting events.
That's the draw, I think.
There's huge untapped potential there, but nobody has done it right yet.
They've been trying to. I mean, they're working on it. Like some NBA games do get broadcast in VR, but it's still that shitty kind of like 360 video looking. It doesn't have the depth that you'd expect. It's all blurry and pixely and stuff. It's just like not a good experience.
Yeah, I'd rather not be there than experience that. And so, obviously,
exactly.
Technology, I don't know if it's just the cost of it or if it was just like, because it was early on experimental stuff. I don't even know where it's at compared to where it was like 4 years ago, because once I experienced it 4 years ago, I was like, this is not something I'm interested in. I know that a lot of places were doing, instead of like 360 videos, they were trying to do VR 180 videos to be like, okay, well, you can't see shit behind you, but everything in front of you is pretty fucking cool,
VR 180 is always better than VR or than 360 wraparound shit.
Yeah,
I would always prefer that in any case.
But even that,
and it looks better usually. And
but even that was still like, if you move your head too far to the left and right, it was like the image would pull and tear and stuff. And I was like, this just isn't there yet. Like, this isn't how I want to be. I'd rather just watch something on a flat screen or go to the concert itself, which obviously isn't always, it's not always an alternative. It's not something you can just do. But I'm curious to see what happens this upcoming generation, see how far they push that stuff, because I wasn't thrilled last gen or this gen, so really got my fingers crossed that it's more than just games. That's what everyone keeps saying. VR, it's more than just games. If you think it's just games, then you're like fooling yourself. And I was like, well, show me the cases where this is actually true, and you're actually delivering on stuff that's not just games that like people want to do, because so far we haven't really seen that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the VR enthusiasts, the VR developers, hardware stuff, tech enthusiasts are wanting to see VR integrated into everything, into like all sorts of lifestyles and daily life. And to me, I mean, the way you're going to do it is games. That's all I care about. I mean, if there's a way that VR can help, our technology advance in certain ways, sure, absolutely. But for me, it's all about the games. I like it as an entertainment device, and that's all I care about first and foremost. The games, just like how I liked my PS4, PS5, PS3, PlayStation since the beginning for games, not other things.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of other VR headsets targeting that sort of like, oh, you can work on it in a virtual environment and have, 6 floating tabs and, type on your real keyboard. Oculus Quest 2 actually just added that. You could put a real life keyboard in front of you and have it track it. And like it'll make a space for your desk. So it's like you walk up and you're actually like, I don't know, you can do work on the thing, it sounds like. But I don't think Sony will do anything like that because it's like a PlayStation. It's not a workstation, obviously. I think we'll see more music stuff from them, though. Whether it's live, probably not. Probably pre-recorded experiences like we saw before, because Sony Music is a thing, too. They have a whole music division. And I think the things that we saw from them were their music artists. Like, they had the one with the Final Fantasy lady singing. That's a Sony music artist. I think Joshua Bell's a Sony music artist. They're, like, using it to promote their own stable of artists as well and show off the technology. So I think they'll keep doing that, probably.
I agree with you guys. Also, workstation VR just doesn't have the same sound, doesn't have the same ring to it.
No.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Did we were we able to stop playing Solaris long enough to cover today's topic? Did you guys have a chance to check out Gadgeteer, which is coming out next week, $15 on the PlayStation Store?
Brian, but there is one piece of news. One piece of news before we get to the review. And that is No Man's Sky has unveiled something that is new in the game, and they have added the SSV Normandy SR1 from Mass Effect. That can be found in No Man's Sky's Beachhead Expedition, and it's discoverable until May 31st. So all you No Man's Sky players, you guys Mass Effect fans, what does everybody think of this? Anybody excited about this?
I mean, I should go check it out. I'm not like an active Mass Effect fan. Like, I'm probably going to buy the remake or remaster at some point. But I did play all the first 3. I didn't touch Andromeda with a 10-foot pole, but the first 3 I played and enjoyed quite a bit. So yeah, that'll be cool to check out. And that's a big crossover to get. I mean, like, that's one of the biggest fucking game franchises, like, in, RPG history, right? And like,
storytelling. It really... I want to say it almost kind of revolutionized, at least showed how some of the best storytelling could be done in VR. That's what people love about it. That's why BioWare has always been, at least back in the day, was always known for was storytelling and stuff. Dan Kiefer says, "Holy shit, that's awesome!" And then he says, "Give me the Enterprise."
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so
totally
could be
agree.
similar like that.
Well, if you want to explore some Star Trek ships, Bridge Crew, you got to get Bridge Crew because those are really well recreated, pretty cool.
That's true.
Bridges.
Yeah, Mass Effect was something I always wanted to get into, like a lot wanted to get into, and it was Xbox only. And then when they were bringing over that was the Mass Effect trilogy, they were like, this will be the first time Mass Effect 1 will be available on PlayStation 3, and it's going to be in the Mass Effect 2 or 3 engine, whatever the hell it was. And I was like, this is it, man. This is what I've been waiting for. And I got the trilogy, and I started playing Mass Effect 1, and I was like, whoa. I was like, this requires a lot more concentration than I have. And everyone was like, just skip to Mass Effect 2. And I was like, the reason I haven't played Mass Effect 2 was because I was waiting to start with Mass Effect 1. So, unfortunately, my experience with Mass Effect is almost non-existent, which sucks because I know that I'd love it if I gave it a chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an interesting mashup. It seems like kind of almost out of nowhere that they would just add another kind of game. I mean, they've actually referenced Star Trek directly with calling it the Next Generation, but having the ship directly in here, and the other thing is this isn't all that's happening with No Man's Sky, which is why this is kind of still important. Is No Man's Sky is still doing their updates regularly, and they are most of the time really significant. Usually by June, July, they do their biggest. Or at least I should say sometime in the summer. I don't remember exactly, but around their anniversary, whenever that was. But they do their biggest updates usually then, although they've switched to a new model where they do smaller, kind of like monthly. They're more frequent, but they're smaller. But there seems like there is something big on the way for No Man's Sky as well, though. It sounds like it's very story driven. But in the meantime, I'm gonna definitely be jumping in, checking out this this ship. I want to see what this thing looks like in VR, just like popping into the sky.
Well, the thing that I'm curious about is if they put it in here and it's a place you can go to as part of the expedition, right? That makes me wonder if there's like a mission associated with it in some way. Like if you go there and you're on the ship and you do something on the ship, because like exploring it is cool if you're nerding out about Mass Effect or whatever. But like if you just land on it and walk around and there's nothing to do in there, that's kind of boring, right? So there must be something going on inside the ship, and that's what I want to know. Like, is it cool to go check out even if you aren't a Mass Effect fan? Like, is there some mission to do there that's interesting?
I don't know. I think it might just be popping up, and you just go admire its beauty.
You just go. Well, you can't get inside of it.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, if you can't get inside of it, what the hell?
I
thought
don't-
you could
I
go
don't
explore the
actually
thing.
know.
You could just do like circles around it. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I want to blow it up. Can we blow it up? All right,
Shepard, no.
Nick and I are going to go blow up the Normandy this weekend. That's our plan.
Sounds good.
I don't know if you're on board with that, Nick, but I just made you on board. So, if you guys stop playing Solaris long enough
Yes, I did. We did.
to play Gadgeteer, which is coming out next week for $15 on PlayStation VR, I feel like I've already done this segue. I might have.
You did, Brian. You did.
See, when I'm not looking at the screen and you walk away, you throw me off.
Sorry, man.
It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, I played this quite a bit today, and I will say, the original title of this video was called Gadgeteer Review, not First Impressions. And I was like, and then I got into the game, and I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of fun, doing my thing. And who was it? Peter, the CEO of Metanaut, is on our Discord,
Peter.
and he was like, he was like, hey, make sure you go push that button in the main menu that unlocks the entire game, right? He's like, so you don't have to solve puzzle 1 to get to puzzle 2. It just unlocks everything.
Wait, he
right?
said there's a button for
There's
that?
a button that says unlock all puzzles, like literally in the
Thanks a
main
lot,
menu.
Peter.
He sent it to you, and you didn't read it.
Yeah,
Oh, he told me that too? Okay,
totally
fine.
told you. Yeah, and so
I didn't need to. I unlocked them all and I had fun. Not all of them, but I played through.
Well, so I pushed the button and everything got unlocked, and I immediately after that went back and was like, nope, we're not reviewing this game today. We're talking about first impressions, because I jumped halfway through the game and they gave me all these tools. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I really do need to play it puzzle by puzzle by puzzle by puzzle to kind of understand exactly, the game's unlocking things slowly and surely and teaching you things along the way, like kind of leading by example. They never just give you a new item to play with. They always show you how it's used in a puzzle first. And then they're like, oh, now it's in your inventory for the next puzzle maybe. And so I needed to do that for myself just to kind of see how it all worked. So
Yeah, I think that's a much better way to do it.
so I pushed the button, but I'm only like finishing up the second room right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I pushed the button and unlocked everything, and then like as you progress, so there's like everything takes place in this house, right? And the house is used for the puzzles. There's all these, the puzzles in particular are basically a simple concept of there's a starting point and there's an end point, and you have to get to that end point and press that button at the end. I did start by hitting the thing because he told us to, but then when you get there, once you finish one of the puzzles, there's a green tube that like lights up, and like everything was lit, and I had no idea where to start from.
Yeah.
And I eventually did find it, but I was like, no, like I want that feeling of progression.
Yeah.
So I went and I made a new profile. There is a second profile, or more than one profile you can make on here, and just started straight from the beginning because I wanted that feeling of reward for unlocking the next room or progressing through, and as you get more like things lit up and stuff.
Well, it's also a better way to play, I think, because like I'm glad that I started at the beginning and completely missed that part of his email and ignored it, because I'm glad I did it the way I did. Started
That's
the
the way
first
to go.
puzzle, and I was like, oh, okay, it's just dominoes. That's whatever. And then I was like, oh, they're making me do something interesting with these dominoes. Oh, there's different dominoes. Oh, there's multiple ways to get this done.
Right.
Okay. And then you start realizing that the game is giving you more opportunities to like play around with the engineering of how to get from A to B. As you unlock more stuff, you're like, oh, with what I have here, with these 4 things, I can set up something that sort of cheats the puzzle, and I don't have to go domino, 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 domino. I can just like, get it in 3.
Well, yeah. As you
and
go
it's
on, you
always fun.
start. There's way more stuff than just dominoes. It
Oh
seems
yeah, they've
like
got the ball bearings, they've got the rails, there's
like
all the wooden
marbles,
tracks and
right?
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
and those are really really fun to play around with. That's about to where I got. I think I got to like the 20th puzzle. So they had introduced the balls and the tracks and stuff. But I
And
didn't get too
there's
much
5
further than
different
that.
rooms. So
Mhm.
you start out in room number 1. There's not 20. I don't think there's 20 puzzles for each room, because there's only a total of 60 puzzles. But the rest of the house is locked off. And as you make your way across, once you get the 20th one done, it opens up another room, and then it also starts. It kind of resets in difficulty, but they always towards the end of the level, it starts to get like really hard.
Yeah, it's a good way to get yourself excited for the creative modes too, and to like be impressed by what people have uploaded online that you can look at. Because as you start to see how the pieces work, and you're like, oh, at first I wouldn't have known how to get that marble from here to there, but now I think I've got it figured out because I played through the initial stages and I got the feeling for how this all goes together. And then you can see like, oh, I could make my own thing using these principles that wouldn't be that hard to put together. But when at first you look at some of these things, you're like, how in the fuck did anybody do that?
Yeah.
And then once you play through for a while, you're like, oh, it's like not that hard, if I just spent some time on it.
Yeah.
I do have a couple gripes with it, but we'll talk about those later. But yeah, Stingray, like I mentioned, you can upload and download levels. There's plenty of them up there already to look at, get some cool ideas. A lot of people seem to like the marble races. Have you seen the marble races where they just drop like 20 marbles and they all like branch out?
No.
And,
I've
Yeah, I've seen that in the trailer.
Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, I definitely want to back up a little bit. I think we got real deep into this real fast.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
AJ was saying it kind of takes place in a house. And just to clarify, like picture like a room in your house, but like all the surfaces and stuff are like taken up with, like books and different things. And you just down the bookshelf. You have freedom to walk around however you want to. The locomotion system actually reminds me a little bit of what we were talking about earlier this week with Crisis of the Planet of the Apes, where you kind of grab the environment, you kind of pull yourself around.
Right. I like the control.
I like the clicking up and down. That's very nice and easy to adjust your height.
Yeah.
I think the only thing is pulling forward. Sometimes I accidentally adjust my height, but it's really easy to flick back down. But it's really nice to, like, if you drop a piece on the floor, you don't have to fuck with it. You just go grab it, and it's super easy.
Yeah, moving around is nice. And like at first I was like, why can't I just set my height? Like, why am I so low? And like, why do I have to do this? Why is it part of the locomotion? I was like, oh, because you do drop pieces and you go and pick them up off the floor. Or you really, sometimes you just want to get a better perspective. Like at first I was just kind of looking at these things from the side, but then eventually I was trying to get better ideas on how to solve the puzzle, so I'd move myself right inside the puzzle and just like start looking at it from all the different angles. And so having that full amount of freedom to like raise and lower your height and at the same time, full locomotion, and it does have click turning, but we don't need to talk about that until the stuff we don't like.
Click turning every now and then, just so I don't. I kept getting out of camera range, so I had to use the click turn more.
It's a puzzle game. It's not one of those things we get too worked up about in a puzzle game.
The height slider, the other thing about that is like a lot of the ones I saw online started like at the ceiling of the room and went down from there. Yeah. So it helps you create things that are really vertical. Mm-hmm. Like you can go way up to the ceiling and start here and then go halfway down and build a little railway and then go to it makes it really easy to build that sort of layered kind of thing. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, there was something I was gonna say. I'll think of it later.
Well, it's certainly. I mean, I don't even know where to go from here.
So okay, I got you. Look, it is DualShock 4 supported, but I've been using the moves. The moves. I haven't even tried it with the DualShock yet. And I was gonna say I like the controls. I like the way everything handles. Like in one hand you have kind of like this grabber claw, but you can press the move and then 3 or more options pop up, and then there's like a vacuum that you can like delete stuff if you want to use it. There's a clone tool as well. And then the left hand is the menu. You press the trigger, menu pops up, and you just grab stuff and take it from there. Yep. But overall, I actually didn't realize there was click turning. That's usually something that really bothers me, but I guess because of the way the gameplay is, I didn't notice it this time.
It's really just to position yourself. You don't need to use it that often.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't have a good angle on where you want to place your next piece.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. When you're talking about all the rooms you could build stuff in,
Yeah.
you guys should know you can make a Rube Goldberg machine in a bathroom, in your bathroom, in this apartment.
Yeah.
You can start it in the bathroom. You could end it in the bathroom. You can do whatever you want. It's kind of a fun place to be able to make a Rube Goldberg machine, I think.
Yeah.
Nihilist Ryan, the game feeling with the $5 tip says, "Happy Friday, gentlemen. Happy Friday right back at you, Nihilist Ryan. It does not feel like a Friday over here for some reason. I got a lot of stuff on my plate. I think it's going to be a long weekend. But yeah, each of these puzzles, especially at the beginning, is pretty straightforward, right? There's a little box. You push a button, and a little thing comes out and pushes the first domino over, or pushes the first ball bearing down a track or something. You push the button, it starts it off. And then there's another little box that there's a button that needs to be pushed, right? Usually, like either the ball bearing goes into that, or you flop a domino onto it, or something. But that is how each of these puzzles get solved. And again, super simple at first. And in the thing, I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell from the footage that you're seeing here, but it did take me a minute to get used to the controls. But once you get them down, it is so satisfying because at the beginning of every puzzle, I just looked at it and went, I don't know. Like I have no idea. And so I just push the button and see what happens, and then you just keep adding to it and keep pushing the button over and over and over. Like there doesn't seem to be any punishment for.
No, you just hit the undo button afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, for you to keep experimenting and seeing what happens and saying, well, what if I put this here? What if I put this here? And you can make these tiny little minute adjustments and stuff to kind of like get the thing that you need to get to the finish line. You need to get it there, and so without any punishment. I loved it, man. It didn't feel like there was no timer. There was no, you should need to do this in so many moves to progress to the next puzzle, that kind of thing. None of that was there. Relaxing, like guitar music in the background. I just chilled out for like 2 hours today. And was just like, this is fun, man. Just like dicked around and enjoyed the puzzles. No stress at all.
And the other thing too is like, you have a certain number of pieces, but you're free to do it in less pieces than that. And you don't often need to use them all. And for me, the fun part of it was like, how few pieces can I do this in? But the game doesn't really care. Like you said, it's really chill. There's not a 3-star. There's no 3-star ranking system or anything for like, oh, was your contraption good enough for the judges? No, you just beat it, and you're like, oh, I beat it. And like I said earlier, you can really approach it like any way you want. The experimentation is really fun. Like there'd be times when I was like, what if I just used this like a ramp and sent a thing sliding down it to knock shit down, and it worked. And I was like, okay, cool, let's keep doing that. Yeah, and then you just sort of like, okay, I can't build momentum. What if I have the ball drop from a high spot onto this thing using this piece and then curve it around, and like that'll knock shit over. And like just figuring that stuff out naturally at your own pace is really cool.
I love how you have the freedom to solve things the way you want to, and sometimes you can get creative with it, sometimes you can get crazy with it, and it works. And this is, I don't know if you guys thought the same thing, but my initial thoughts playing this, I was like, this was made, and this is going to sound weird, but this is just how I felt. So I was like, this was made by really intelligent people. I don't know why I thought that, but something about it, the physics are good. The physics seem like pretty good so far. And everything seems well designed. It's a nice balance of somebody having a vision of a game and like knowing certain things that make games better and including those things. Like, first of all, there's the tutorial, which teaches you the basics. Then there's the puzzle mode, which is like 60 puzzles. It feels like levels. There's progression to it where, parts of the house are blocked off until you reach there. And then, stuff's got like blankets over it and stuff. And once you get past all that stuff, once you get to it, you get to see everything that's hiding under it. I don't know if there's something at the end where there's like some device on the roof that you're like powering. And so I don't know how that's going to come into play. But then that's the puzzle mode, which seems like could take you a couple hours. But then there's the online mode, which is probably hand in hand with the maker mode. And it's just like, these are like core things that like, to me, it just seems like probably some people with not only intelligent, but no game design and include some of those things. So,
the game design, good.
I was just going to say, go ahead about the game design.
Well, the game design is a big part of it too. It's not just that like, oh, wow, these physics are crazy and they've come up with all these really interesting things that you can do in this sandbox. It's like a lot of people would have just released the sandbox and said, oh, you can upload your shit online. and not put in the puzzle, like the campaign mode that you were talking about. And for me, that like not only gave me a good reason to play the thing, which a lot of sandbox games don't give you a good reason to play if you're not just strictly creative. It's like a space to be creative within the confines of an actual gameplay loop that moves forward, you know?
Right,
Which I really am glad that they put that in there, because if it was just the sandbox mode and the online stuff,
Yeah.
we'd be having a much different conversation right now. Not that it's bad at all. It onboards you in a really nice way and makes you want to see more, want to learn how to do more things as you go on, so that by the time I'm finished with the campaign mode, I'm going to be able to put together my own little machines and be like interested in doing it. It's giving me a reason to come back to it. So that's a really big thing that a lot of games like this just don't have, like Domino Craft and Trainer VR and nothing like that. Like, it's just a sandbox, and this has some meat on the bones.
Yeah.
Hugh Giver with the Australian $3 tip says, it's time for pizza, 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 money, money, money. My cousin Max says, what's up? Hello.
What up, cousin? Have you guys had a chance to look at the maker mode and see what it's like?
Dude,
I did briefly. I'm so overwhelmed that I went back to the puzzle mode. But like I said, once I finish the puzzle mode, I'll be like, I know exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, the second I realized that this is not going to be a review discussion, that we were just going to, I was like, okay, this is now a first impression stream, and I'll deal with the review later. I was like, you know what? All I want to do is focus on those puzzles, and I did get an amazing amount of satisfaction from completing each one and like slowly working my way through it. And it was crazy that, and I know you asked me a question that doesn't revolve around this at all, but I swear we'll get back to it. There was some of the early puzzles, like I don't know what number I'm on here, like 20 something. Some of them I blasted through in 20 seconds. Some of them would take me 5 minutes, just like experimenting and messing around and stuff. And I was like, was the one I was just working on that took me 5 minutes to figure out, like, was that also supposed to take me 20 seconds, like the one before it and the one after it? I had no idea, but I didn't care, because I was fine being stumped every so often, because when the one right after it was like, easy breezy, beautiful, right? Cover girl. It was great. Don't shake your head at me. You loved it, right? No, it just felt good, man. And so when I kind of got into the groove of doing that stuff, I was like, oh, I should really check out the creator mode for Gamescast tonight. I was like, you know what? I'm really enjoying this. I'm going to stick with the thing that I'm enjoying, and then when it comes review time, I'll get around to doing that. But so you're the only one of the three of us who messed with it, right?
Go ahead, Dave. What?
I'm just quick thought. Metanaut. Throwing this out there. I don't know if people have done this or if you've seen this for the online uploads, because I didn't notice it, but it's just an idea that popped into my head. It'd be cool to upload ones that are partially finished, that have a sort of end and beginning, and say, hey, this is my thing. You figure out how to solve it. Like, it's not make a full machine that you upload online, because you can add stuff to people's. I'm pretty sure you can add stuff to people's things. It just doesn't save it. So can you do that? Like, make your own puzzles for people and send them up online? That'd be really cool.
Yes. So the answer is yes. The maker mode is basically, the maker mode is basically the whole house, but just wide open. Essentially it gives you access to all the normal tools and everything. But then you actually get to, so the funny thing is that you can make whatever you want. There's a lot of stuff. It's not just making dominoes or whatever, or the marbles or anything like that on rails. There's options for the puzzles. Yes, you can make your own puzzles where you have a point A and a point B that you have to get to. But then if you click like over in one of the sections in the maker mode, it's not just the tools that you've seen in the beginning. There's all sorts of shit. There's like bowling pins. There's bowling balls. There's like fruit baskets and fruit and carrots and all this different stuff.
And they're all physics objects, right? Like, so you can hit them and knock it over, and Yeah. So it was such a huge surprise to me. I had said in the beginning that this needs the puzzle mode for me. I'm not going to be interested in the maker mode at all. But there's two things that are kind of changing my mind on that. And that is like seeing just the amount of possible things that you can come up with. And when you were talking about verticality,
it was the maker mode that I noticed that, because there's like rafters on the ceiling, and I'm like, holy shit, I could make something that starts all the way up here and goes all the way across the house into the kitchen and stuff like that. I'm like, wow. And yeah, there's the rubber ducky and stuff, and like, you know, there's like so many things, a plunger, and I was just messing around and just having fun. I had like a plunger with a marble in it, just spinning it around, and I don't even know what I was doing, but it was just it was really cool, man. And I think for those that have been wanting a game like this, because I know there's a lot of people out there, I think those people are going to be very pleased. And I think the online is a big component. When I talked about being familiar with what good game design is and good ways to build a life on the game, I really think that the online mode mixed with the maker mode is there's gonna be maybe some people that make some really cool stuff. I hope to see some really cool stuff in there that I would love to visit.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for you to say that people can upload actual puzzles that they've created, because like I'd love to make a crazy contraption and then cut out a third of it and be like, here's the endpoint, you know, figure it out, you figure it out, and see what people do, and you know, it'd be fun. It just seems like a cool idea once you finish the actual campaign thing. So great idea, Metanaut.
Yeah. Yeah, and so far, I mean, I have not finished all the puzzles yet. I have not seen all the rooms yet. Actually, no, I've seen all the rooms because I unlocked them and I just walked around the room and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But to me, this for the $15 price point that they're charging, this seems absolutely perfect.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think people who are looking for a game like this have found it. I just wanted to play this all day, and I wasn't looking. I got to be honest, I wasn't looking forward to this because it doesn't seem like my kind of game. But man, they just made it so attractive and just so kind of enjoyable to play. I think the video that was just down below was showing the launcher. It was like it actually launches the ball bearing like across the room. And I was just like, and the second I got to that, I was like, oh man, it's just like all these ideas in my head just started. The freedom and everything else, and your ability to just kind of like work these puzzles any way that you want to. They were entire puzzles that, Dave, you were saying it was the fun part for you sometimes was trying to use as few pieces as possible to solve the puzzle.
Oh, I would just jerry rig the thing and try and hack it and be like, can I make this sort of hit this thing in a weird way, and then it kind of jumps over here, and like,
right.
Just, yeah, not doing it the way I was supposed to do it probably, but.
Well, and the other side of that is like you can go crazy with it and just go absolute Rube Goldberg machine style and utilize all this other stuff that I was like, because especially some of the early puzzles, I'm like, well, I can just go straight to it. Why is this other stuff around here? Why is there another ball bearing set up and ready to go if I can just go around it? What's the point? Kind of going back once you're familiar with the entire game and all the mechanics, that's going to be the fun part, is to be like, oh man, now that I know this game inside out and I don't have to think about how does this work with this, I think it's going to be really fun to play through the campaign a second time. But I haven't finished it once yet, so bear with me on that. I'll get back to you as soon as I've finished it once.
Well, so that's, there's lots of positives here, but I've definitely got some things that
Couple nitpicks.
some nitpicks, some things that first and foremost, there's this whole joke about in the thumbnail, like, is this game, do I like this game or something?
Yeah.
And let me just say that, yes, I do like this game, but it's still not for me. This is a game that I would have never touched if not for having to review it and stuff. And so one of the few small nitpicks that I do have, though, is that when you're holding an item, I don't think there's a way to spin it in place. Like, so if you pick it up, you have to kind of like,
I was
try not to
my
drop
arms
it.
in a weird
You have to turn your arms in a weird way. The controls are good, except that's the one thing I thought it was missing, was when you grab a piece to be able to change the direction, flip it like Tetris pieces or something.
The other thing I think that would solve that problem is if there was a button on your left hand to make it just turn into a regular grabby thing for a minute, so you could like pass it between hands and just turn it around yourself real quick. You know what I mean? Like, I kept wanting to use my left hand and feeling like I'd been amputated. Because in real life, if I was setting this up, I'd be using both hands to twist it into place, right? So having to use one and like twist it and then grab it again, go over here and twist it like this, I was just like, let me press a button on my left hand and go like this and turn it the way I want to with both hands. That would be super easy and would make it a lot more user-friendly, I think. But I had that same issue as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel like I got the hang of it eventually. I feel like because since there's no button to just kind of boom, 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 flip it around in your hand, I did get the hang of it eventually, and just was like, and I don't know how I did that. If I picked it up and put it on the table and then just picked it up the way that I wanted to, like you would in real life, I guess. That's I guess how I got around that. But yeah, it would be nice to have that just for convenience sake.
Yeah, for sure. But I get used to it too. I got done what I needed to get done. It just took a little longer and was a little more pain than I would hope it would be.
So, yeah. Do you guys have anything else? Because I got a couple
Yeah.
more, but I want to,
The one thing that I've got is I like that you have the freedom to place pieces like kind of wherever you want to. Like you can float the pieces, freeze them in air, and stuff like that. But I was really, really hoping or wishing for some lock together mechanic where like if I've got two pieces that clearly go together, if I put them next to each other just to have it snap into place. And if I don't want it to, I can pull it off. But like I would put stuff next to each other, and then from this angle it looks fine. I'd run the ball through and it would get stuck because there was a little bit off. There was just like a little bit of a divide between the two, or they weren't perfectly connected.
Do you use the freeze button?
Yeah, I use the freeze button.
Okay.
Yeah. The freeze button freezes it in place, but it doesn't lock it to other pieces.
Oh,
what I'm saying is I want the pieces to lock together. Like if I'm building a rail, right? And I've got a long rail piece and a curved rail piece and a short rail piece and a down rail piece.
Right.
I want that to lock together like I'm building a roller coaster in a roller coaster tycoon or something.
I see what you
But they sort of float near each other and you have to tweak it to get it just right. And I'm not the steadiest hand with stuff like this, so I would always be like, did I get it? Oh, it's a little bit off. Oh, it's a little bit off. Because sometimes those little joints make a big difference. Like if you kill the momentum of your ball even slightly by having a sloppy joint there, it doesn't work.
But
right?
see, I kind of like it for that reason, that like one little miscalculation can throw the whole thing off. But having a button to be able to snap it, I agree would make it better. But I do like having the freedom to position anything however you want, and you can look at it from multiple angles. And because I ran into the same issue, of course, but I actually like admired that. I was like, oh, I did this. I watched the whole thing play through, and then there was like one that was just slightly like not next to each other and missed, and I was like, oh, this one little miscalculation threw the whole thing off, and I kind of like that. Yeah,
I actually did too, because it is so easy to try again. If you had to like reset everything back up, which is why this game is so much better than real life, right? This actually looks like my bedroom when I was a kid. I used to have all this stuff, dominoes, and like I said, Constructs before. Constructs was like my big Lego building set, and so I'd have all this stuff like running around my room. But man, it's like once you knock over a shit ton of dominoes once, the last thing you want to do is like set them all back up and be able to just hit a button and be like, let's try that again and like just perfect it, tweak one little thing to make the whole thing work perfectly. That's why I didn't mind that kind of stuff, because it was so easy to try again. Super easy.
For sure. Like I said, these are minor. I call them nitpicks, and they're definitely nitpicks for sure.
So overall, like, there's actually one more nitpick for sure before I get to my overall thing here. So the music, I like the guitar line and thing. I think it's really relaxing and stuff. But man, it kind of repeats. It runs out really quick and then repeats. And like as much as I like that guitar line, what they went for there, something that's like not loud and annoying while you're trying to focus or whatever. It's like it does like just kind of get repetitive too much and just repeats the same track.
This seems like a perfect Spotify game.
You can
just
turn it
on
off
Spotify and turn off the music, and maybe listen to it the first 2 times you play. It's not bad by any means. I did like it, but it gets repetitive. But totally. Listen to a podcast, listen to some relaxing music. Like it's a perfect game for that.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you want to listen to. Like there's no. It's nice to have the visual. I mean, I'm sorry, the auditorial. That's not right.
Auditory.
That's not
auditory.
Auditory cues and stuff like when you
auditory
edibles.
Auditory cues.
Yeah, when you beat a level and stuff, or you beat a puzzle and it makes a sound and stuff, and even like the sound of the dominoes hitting each other and stuff. It's nice if you're into that, all that ASMR stuff. But like, just fucking turn off the music, man, and play your own, because it is relaxing music. But I can totally see if you're spending hours and hours at a time that can be a thing. Donatello Dreamin' of PSVR2 Gamecat in the chat with $5 tips has been wanting a game like this since I first watched Blue Ball Machine. Seems like a great game for STEM students. What am I
Yeah.
missing? I don't know any. What's he talking about?
I don't know what blue ball machine is,
I don't either.
but I'm assuming it's some thing that he saw. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math.
Oh, okay. I
Like
guess that
engineering
makes sense.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, like AJ said, this does seem like a game that was designed by really smart people.
Yeah, by smart people for smart people.
Well, they dumbed it down enough for me to get into, so far so good. But we'll see what the second half of this game is like, man. Because I got nervous off the bat. I was like, I'm just gonna jump. I'm gonna do a puzzle in 1 through 10. I'm gonna do a puzzle in 20 through 30, and I figured I'd jump around. And as soon as I realized that you do need to kind of progress through this game puzzle by puzzle to understand the later puzzles, I was like, I got really nervous. I was like, because very frequently I'm the guy that's like, what did I miss? What did I miss during puzzle 5 that makes me not understand puzzle 19? And I hate that. Because then you just feel dumb. Like the game fucking taught you. And so I was nervous, and there was no reason to be so far. But I still got a ways to go. So we'll see how this goes.
So final thoughts right now. Final thoughts on first impressions.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this game, and this is a game. Again, let me reiterate, this is not a game for me typically, but I always said it's a sign of a good game when it's something, especially a genre that you really don't care or don't like, and find some enjoyment out of it. I find that there is satisfaction. By the way, watching this game and stuff is probably going to be super boring, but playing it is a lot better. But I'm glad that there's puzzles. I'm interested in the modes and stuff. I find I get a little bored playing this, to be honest with you. Like there's nothing like super exciting about it, but there is satisfaction to solving the puzzles and stuff like that. So I do find there is a level of satisfaction. There is a level of great game design here. People, like I said, people that really know what they're doing. But for me, that is typically not into stuff like this. I would have really loved to see a game like this like a couple years ago. Surprised that it took this long to get a game that's this solid, this late in the life cycle. But better late than never. And VR is a new technology. People are still figuring things out. But I've been impressed with this so far. I think. I think, like I said, for people like Donnie that have been waiting for a game like this, I think this is the one that you've been waiting for since the launch of PSVR. And maybe not flashy for people like me that are just like, run and gun and stuff. But for those that like stuff like this, the physics are good, the gameplay is good, the puzzles are good, the objects and everything are good. So I think there's plenty of modes, so I think people are going to like it overall that pick it up.
Dave, final thoughts on this?
Yeah, I certainly enjoyed it. I think $15 is a great price for it. If this is something you're into, even if it's something that you're not totally into, but you feel like from what we've said you might get hooked on. Because, I think, Brian, you said you weren't like super stoked to try the game out or anything. Because, AJ, I think all of us, we aren't really actively into this sort of like tinkering stuff these days, but it immediately drew me in, and I was like, okay, I want to keep playing this. And I didn't get bored, but I probably didn't play as long as you guys did in one straight session. I played for like 90 minutes, I think. So, but yeah, no, I've had a great time with it so far. I want to keep playing it, and yeah, I would absolutely recommend it.
Your Long Shadows with the 50 Nokia donation. I'm sorry I didn't get this earlier. It says, Cover Girl reference. You bust down that toxic masculinity wall, Brian. Hannah Montana is proud of you. Nothing masculine over here. I promise you, Your Long Shadows.
What does Hannah Montana have to do with Cover Girl?
She's probably in the commercials. I can only imagine.
I thought that was like a Pantene Pro V commercial.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he was thinking of iCarly.
Cover Girl.
I know.
iCarly.
You see, somehow the world will change for me and be so wonderful.
I hate you so much.
I know, and I love it. But yeah, no. So far, I'm absolutely loving this. I haven't gotten bored with it. I'm less than 2 hours in, I think, and I can't wait to play more. I was a little nervous about streaming this. I wanted to stream it, but I didn't think that it would be all that terribly interesting to watch. Sorry, more sirens on my end. So I don't know if you guys are interested in seeing some of the later levels and stuff. Let me know if you guys want to see this in a live stream. I might do that if you're interested. But man, this is such a chill, if you got nothing else to do kind of thing, like, it's like because you want to take your time. It was iCarly. Good call. Good call. If you want to
I
take,
only said I hate you because that song gets stuck in my head sometimes, not because I have anything against Carly.
you shouldn't. It's one of the greatest television shows ever made, and definitely my favorite, right up there with Fringe and the X.
I'm watching Walking Dead right now. Carl.
Whatever.
I'm on season 5. Let's go.
Yeah. You enjoy your toxic masculinity, AJ. I'll watch shows for 14-year-old girls. Thank you very much. For me, this is if it looks even remotely good to you, then buy it. Right? That's my answer, because if you're watching this and going, wow, this is fucking boring. I can't believe they just talked about this for the last 45 minutes. Then skip it, man. Like, skip it. But man, you already know that that if it looks good to you, it is good for you, because it's just this not my kind of game either, and I really have really been enjoying it. So I'm gonna have a review out for next week, because I'm gonna be blasting through the rest of this weekend. So let me know if you guys want me to stream it or not. Either way, I'll get that review out eventually. Thumbs up though, big thumbs up. Really enjoying this one.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
impressive.
All right, you guys. Before we get out of here, how about a quick game of PSVR 20 questions that we totally ripped off from GameScoop? Right?
Who's in charge this time?
That would be me. I guess I got Fridays. So
All right. Mondays, AJ's Wednesday, you're Friday. Got it.
All right.
exactly. So I guess I should probably set a timer for you guys. We're doing 5 minutes, I believe, right? Timer, 5 minutes. On your mark, get Des. Go.
Does it support the aim controller?
No.
Moves.
Yes.
Okay.
DualShock.
No.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. It's moves only.
Is it a puzzle game?
No. Not a puzzle game.
Is it a sci-fi game?
You wouldn't classify it as a sci-fi game.
Is it a horror game?
No.
You have guns.
Yes.
You have guns. Okay.
Is it a? Oh wait. He said he wouldn't.
Would you classify this as like a bargain bin kind of title? Like, it's not like a big budget. It's not like even a double A or a single A. It's like a B tier. Like,
It's a tough question to answer.
but you know what our idea of that is, right? Does it seem like kind of a cheapo game?
It's solidly made from a solid developer, but I would not classify it as a single A or triple A game.
Did we ask if it was a shooter already?
Well, you have guns.
You did
we
ask
ask if it was a shooter,
You
though?
didn't ask if it is a shooter.
Is it a shooter?
You wouldn't classify it as a shooter, but you do shoot a lot in this game.
Okay. You can classify. Is it a game from the last 2 years?
Let me check real quick. Let me make sure that I know exactly when it came out. The last 2 years, so anytime in 2019. Yes. It did come out in the last 2 years.
Okay. Is it realistic looking?
That was 10, by the way. Not realistic. I would say no.
Looking.
Not realistic looking. I would say no.
Okay.
Okay. It's not a shooter game, but you shoot a lot in it. Hold on, we still got time. Let's hold off.
Yeah, you got
we're halfway.
almost 3 minutes.
Yeah. So you shoot things in it.
Does it have dinosaurs?
There's no dinosaurs in this game.
Okay.
It's 12.
Shit. It's not a shooter, but you shoot in
Not
it
a puzzle
lot.
game.
Move controllers.
Is there like swinging in it?
Yeah, you swing.
Swinging in it. There's swinging in it.
I mean, not swing. It's like not swing music. Like not. This isn't the Roaring '20s.
No, did you say swinging? Like
swinging
around?
Like, do you swing your arms? Sure. Yeah.
What do you swing? Like through the world, or do you?
That's a
swing
totally
your arms?
totally different question. I answered
said-
that. Do
he
you
said,
swing in
do
this
you
game?
swing?
Like, do you swing your arms?
Well, he didn't say your arms. He said,
You gotta
"Do you
get-
swing? Like, are you
No,
on a
We
you
don't
don't.
have
You don't.
time
You
to
don't. You don't.
argue.
You don't swing through the world. No, I won't count that.
Okay.
Please be more specific with your questions in the future.
Is it a racing game?
It is not a racing game.
Okay.
It's from the last
Shoot
2
people,
years.
but it's not a shooting game. Oh,
Are there monsters in
is
it?
it? Ooh.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, okay. Is it on rails for a portion of the game?
There's no rails.
There's no rails.
Not on rails. That was 15.
Are there monsters in it?
There are no monsters. No.
This is looking rough here.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
got
know.
3 more questions than a guess.
Any more questions than a guess.
Bitch.
It came out last 2 years.
I'm a little stumped here. Oh man. Oh.
Swinging. Is there climbing in it?
There's no climbing in this game.
Okay.
It's not a racing game. Did we even figure out what kind of game it is?
No. You shoot, but it's not a shooting game.
Is it stealth?
It's not a stealth game.
Oh my
How many
god.
is that?
Dave, I'm glad you got one more question than a guess. Dave, you're on. My hint is that you were on the right track with that question. With you saying there's a lot of shooting, but you wouldn't consider this a shooter.
Yeah, I can't figure it out. Is it? Wait, are there? No, you said monsters. There's zombies in it?
There are no zombies in this game.
Oh god. Okay.
I was gonna ask.
You got to guess.
Oh, wait.
It's
Is it
gotta
a
be-
golf game?
No.
It's not a golf game. You guys are out of questions.
I was gonna
Hand out of time.
say, is it a okay? So do we get one guess each or one guess?
No,
at all?
you're out. You lost the game. If you want to give it one good guess, then
We don't give a guess. We don't get a guess.
You
I
just
thought we
used
had
up
a
all
guess.
20.
I thought you said.
And then
we
Dave-
had one guess.
You said 3 and then a guess. Oh, whatever. Let's not.
because
split
it's
hairs.
technically 19 questions, and then
Well,
the
see,
last one you
my
have to
point
ask:
is-
is it
Nihilist-
this game?
Nihilist Ryan said
It's
zombies are monsters, so that one doesn't count anyways. It's null and void. We asked the same question.
So
twice.
I'm thinking either going with David the Gamecat Lethal or Stingray X Gun Club.
I would consider both of those shooters.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's the whole thing you do in the game is shoot. That's all you do.
Yep.
It sounds like shooting is a thing you do in it, but it's not the whole thing.
Couldn't be Squadrons now, that's right.
and it
because
doesn't support
it's only
the dual
move.
shock or the aim. It's move only.
I mean,
It's not. You're shooting
Sword fighting
occasionally.
game that we missed.
if you guys had gotten the genre, you would have gotten it immediately.
Yeah, that's
I
what,
don't
that's a
fucking
super
know what
important.
genre it is.
Yeah. It's
All right.
it's a rhythm game, and it's Audica.
Audica,
Yep.
get out of here.
What? It was like everyone's favorite game that
I
month.
need like a list of genres so we make sure we get that.
You know, I
Nailed
thought
down.
I thought I asked if it was a rhythm game at some point, or I was going to because
Yeah.
somebody mentioned Pistol Whip, and I was like, "Oh, Pistol Whip,"
Yeah.
but I just didn't ask it. Son of a bitch.
I
yeah.
would I guess I mean I would
It is
kind
a-
of consider a
The problem,
Audica-
see,
rhythm
see,
shooter.
unlike
It's a rhythm
AJ,
shooter.
I'm
But
I'm
it's-
trying to help you guys get to the answer, right? I'm not
Yeah.
trying to deter
Calling
you.
it a shooter
And
would
so,
have thrown us off.
if I said
Skyrim.
yes, it's a shooter, then I'd be like, no way. Like
We would have been way off
You would have
track.
been way off. You never would have gotten there. If you asked if it's a rhythm game, you would have gotten there. I said I would not classify it. But anyway,
genre.
all right, you guys, that's it, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and doing another PSVR GamesCast live. It was so much fun to talk about Gadgeteer with you guys and hang out with all the cats. So thank you to everybody who hung out. Make sure you join our Discord, man, because we got the multiplayer thing going on this weekend. We're gonna play Wipeout a Mega Collection. If you guys can take a break from Solaris, which is fucking taking all of our time. Dude, I'm so happy that everyone's enjoying Solaris as much as we are. Every time I get in, dude, I played with Miles Dyer. He already platinumed the game. He played for like
Oh, yeah.
12 hours straight the other day.
He was the first person in the world,
Yeah.
and only while I was playing with him. And I was trying to invite people, and I was like, "Hey, you want to play with the only guy in the world who's got the platinum? Because
Yeah.
I got him on my squad right now. Let's go!"
Yeah.
And it was super fun.
Yeah,
we had a
it's
great
so
time.
much fun. Everybody that I've been playing with is having a great time. I know that it's not going to be for everybody, but everyone that I've been playing with is just like one more game, and we're having an absolute blast. I'm working on that review right now. I've got tons of great footage because of all the cats that I've been playing with. Thank you guys so much for helping me out and playing. I mean, it's always nice when I can like play a game for without parole. It's like gives me an excuse. It's like, oh, for the next 3 hours, I'm just gonna go play some Solaris, and it's like part of the job, which is great. So anyway, you guys are all awesome, and I really, really appreciate you. And that's it. Join the Discord. And I know I'm forgetting something. What am I forgetting? Make sure you subscribe to Dave at Dave Station VR. Subscribe to AJ over PSVR Underground. That's it. My name's Brian Powell. This is PSVR Gamescast. And we're going to cue the cat right now. Bye.
Cue the cat, Brian. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend to everybody. Justin Cassidy, Stingray X, JT Money, Miles Tire, Triangulator. For the license.
Can you shout out Carlos?
Meow, 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 meow. Shout out to Carlos, who's not in the chat, but he's in the background, so it counts. Donatello dreaming about PSVR2 Gamecat. Ow, ow. Guyson, who reminded us that Army of...
Army of the Dead. Yeah, I gotta watch that. It looks like it would be dumb and long.
Walking Dead first. Gillicell 777 forever. Good to see you again, my dude. Johnny No Pockets, aka Who Dat? Gamecat. LC2552 Pete. What is up, Liam? GC13 the Diet Pepsi Cat. Hope you're having a great day so far. Your Long Shadows, thank you so much for joining. PSVR Underground, I know that dude. PSVR Feet. Thank you so much. Flame Hat, Game Cat, the Robotic Legend, Robo. It's okay. You still get a shout out even though you're late. It's better late than never. Decepticon, GG, Justin Cassidy, thank you so much. Rody the Game Cat, thank you so much for modding and providing the Discord links. Nike Alexander the Game Cat, good to see you. Blue Tree the Underground Game Cat, Elite Name Squad in the house. Steve IRE, tuning in from Ireland. Nihilus Ryan the Game Feline. David the Game Cat, keeping up those speed runs. Who else we got here? BitJello 30, BitJello Boy 30, that jiggly gamer cat. Doozy Cat, good to see you, my friend. Who else we got here? I know we got more. You can't hide from me forever. Guyson, fist bump to you. And Ross Christofari, Scandal the Game Cat, I see you too. Don't you worry. There's no hiding from me and my ability to scroll through comments and shout you out. Nick Mulo, I see you there. Nobody's safe. Nostalgia Giggy.
Cool.
Dan Kiefer. Everybody. Kramer 3K. Good to see you, my dude.
Hell yeah.
JT Money. Y'all have a great weekend. Old Darth. K27. I see y'all.
Whoa.
Oh my God, $100. Whoa.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I was just about to hit end stream, and Gabriel Double Four, the license to Meow Gamecat, comes through with a $100 tip. God damn, dude. Thank you so very much. So very much.
Meow, meow. Meow 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 meow
Meow meow meow meow.
Meow meow meow
Meow meow meow meow.
It's the show that never ends.
Meow 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 meow.